Okay, so we're finally working. Great. Alright, so hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my previous subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video in particular, we're going to be talking about the brand new quote-unquote American Party designed and led by Elon Musk. I'm going to talk about that. You're probably asking yourself, well, why is this a big deal? What does this have to do with me? Why should I be concerned, or what can I do about it? Well, here's the thing. The reason why a lot of third parties don't work in the United States is because they always had a tendency to fail. They don't have the proper infrastructure, they don't have the proper support. But the difference between those third parties and this specific third party is that they have all the tools, all the resources, they have the money, they have the technology, they have the media, they have all that. So if you look at the symbolism here, a lot of people forget that Elon Musk is a Nazi in a way, and if you look at the symbolism here, it kind of looks very similar, right? It looks at first you will first think you see the little arrow and you're like, oh, it reminds me of Hillary. But when you think about it a little bit more, because it's up against a black background or a darker tone background compared to Hillary, who was more of a lighter tone, you start to get a little bit different energy, a different intention behind. You start to get the different energy vibe, and the energy that vibes I'm getting. This is the rise of the Nazi type party. This is the party that we've been talking about and been discussing here on on the channel. This is the party that's going to move further to the right. And I talked about that in the community page. If you have not been keeping up to date on my community page, but I have spoken about how things are going to move more to the right. And a lot of you guys have asked the question, and it's completely understandable why you would even ask the question. You would ask, how is it possible that they can move further right? And I just responded instead, it's very much possible. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said it's very much possible, and we will see how far right they can go, and they will go to the farthest you have ever seen it. Like, it would make Hitler look like a socialist in comparison. But again, the idea here is the fact that this is the first time this could actually pose a threat to the United States and also pose a threat to the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. I said consistently as well, the Democrats and the Republicans will co-join. The Democrats will break away and turn into the Progressive Party. Then that remaining parts of the Democratic Party will join faction with the Republican Party that is more moderate, and those two will co-join into one party. And then you have the Republican, the MAGA wing of the Republican Party will break up and branch into a new party, which will move further to the right. A lot of you guys were asking, what is that party? Well, it looks like it could be the American Party. We're going to wait and see how much this is going to be. But remember, most third parties fail because it's only at the presidential level, but never serious enough to actually do it from the legislative level and all the way up. So that means the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Most third parties only seek the presidency, and that is all. And so to have a successful third party, you need to essentially achieve the lowest level and then make your way up to the top level. And this is the plan that they're going to execute. Donald Trump has been able to put them into power. They've been able to give them the allies, the support that they need, the direct access and line to the White House. Now it's the next stage. It's the next movement. What's next? And we have Peter Thiel here. You have J.D. Vance. What is next for the United States? And in this video, we're about to discover what is next. Now, before we do begin, this video is being recorded on Monday, July 7th at 2:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as and when I'm recording this specific video. If you want to help out this channel, grow, you can do so by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, engaging with the overall content, really help boost out the algorithm here on YouTube, but also sharing this video content with others really helps us out tremendously. Watch this video longer than normal, and you'll be suggesting more videos by me. Alright, anyway, besides the point, if you want to help donate to the channel, you certainly can. There is a donation link in the description below. My recommendation, do not donate. I want you to keep your money. But I know a lot of you guys have been saying, hey Chris, can you allow us to have the ability to donate? I have provided the link below, but my recommendation, don't donate. Just support the channel by what I just said prior to that. That's all I really need for this channel. But if you want to donate, all money and proceeds will go directly to the channel. And this video is just for entertainment purposes only, for educational purposes only as well. If you want to be notified when I do post and upload, follow my Blue Sky account or my Facebook group in the comment section below. Alright, this is way too long of an intro. I really hate long intros, as you all know. So let's just jump right into it. Let's find out what the heck is going on, and let's go from there. Alright, so Spiritual Angel, tell me about the American Party that Elon Musk is trying to formulate against Donald Trump. 80% of voters on Twitter, under Elon Musk's Twitter account a couple months ago, said that they want a new party in the United States. Elon Musk is taking the initiative to start that new party. He said that he was going to create the American Party. Can you tell us the underlying tone? What is the hidden intention behind the American Party? What is the hidden intention behind the American Party? I'm hearing rule with power. That is the hidden intention here, is to rule with power. So this is going to be a party that's going to be deprived only on the sole basis of power. This is the magician. So they're going to promise you all these things, but it's going to be based off of power, and it's going to be, almost feels like very much as well, it feels like they're going to not rule the way political parties have ruled in the past. They're going to rule with the idea and the formulation of artificial intelligence in some capacity. Artificial intelligence is going to play a role in this style of leadership, this style of governmental approach. This is the magician. What is heading towards it? They are very highly aggressive. So these group of people, these political either supporters or people in position of power, or even better yet, those who are running for these positions under this party, this is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is somebody of aggression. I'm also seeing as well as that in order for the party to get its footing, it's also going to target people who are vulnerable or dissatisfied with the current system. And that is how they are going to squeeze their way in. They're going to take people who felt like they were left behind, but not enough so that they will join the Democrats, but enough so that they are disaffected with the Republicans. So a great example would be, for example, there's some support online or some reporting, basically a rumor, if you will, that Mike Pence is possibly considering joining this party. The cards here is literally saying that they might be using people vulnerably to try to execute a certain plan or to get the party in a position of power of seriousness so that it could be considered ahead of the 2028 presidential election. And that is what the Knight of Swords is. This is a highly aggressive group. They're aggressive in their planning. They're aggressive in their approach. So definitely expect that this is a party of aggression and a party of power, which is two things that are very dangerous going forward, especially when you want to be able to have staying power. This is a party that's not designed to last. It's a party designed to coalesce as much power and control as possible and just try to seize it as fast as they can. That's the difference between this party and other parties in the past. What has also been shown as well is we have the Empress card here, and the Empress card comes up as upright. Now this is the party, the best way to describe this is I'm here in North Korea. Look at the way North Korea did this in the past, I think around the 1960s. This is what it's referring to. It's referring to the rise of this specific party being very similar to North Korea. Not China, not Russia, but similar to North Korea in some way. I don't know why, but there is some sort of approach here. And I'm also getting very much technological dystopia type scenario, like where the government is very technologically advanced, but uses technology in a way against the people. Like it uses technology to surveillance. This is a surveillance party. This is a party that's designed for aggression. Who's to say that just because they are being aggressive with their policy approach and to win an election, that who's to say that they're not going to be aggressive with the voters and with the people, with the American people? Right? That is the whole idea, that this is a party of aggression and power and control. If they can achieve that in a very fast pace, it does not matter what they do afterwards. Now, Spiritual Angels tell me. Now, with that said, we understand the hidden intention behind the American Party. Can you tell us, if this pose a threat to the United States, that the American Party that's being formulated right now by Elon Musk posing a threat to the United States and its people from their end? Does the American Party pose a threat? I'm hearing at first no, but here's the magician with a little bit of maneuvering. There will be uncertainty. So it says here, at first, no. This is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is indicating this is a party that is not really resonating with the people. This is not a party that most Americans would choose to go and get. Right? This is why the Two of Cups is reversed. It's also being aided by the Magician, which is in the center. And this card is saying, okay, so there's a little bit of maneuver, and there's a little bit of power, there's a little bit of influence, there's a little bit of magic, if you will. And this is the Magician card. The Magician card is making things happen when all the odds are up against you, making the impossible happen. And then here you have is the Two of Swords reversed. The Two of Swords means uncertainty, right? But it also means certainty as well, because it's reversed. This means the decision has been made, which means that the American people at first are not open to this party. And then the Magician card comes in. It could be propaganda, it could be media influence, it could be a whole bunch of little finagling to get people to start supporting this party. Once it reaches that point of support, it's going to enter this new phase, which is certainty. Now, the question that we're asking is, does the American party pose a threat to the United States? The cards here literally say, yes. The American party does indeed pose a threat to the United States. The question is, how does it do it? That's a question that's just to be remained. But we already know that they are drunk on power. They want power and control. This is run by the technocrats. These are people who have direct access to the media. These are monopolists people. These are people of oligarchy attitudes and approach in terms of their mindset. They're not exactly with good intention. And this says it right in the cards. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. Now, does it? Alright, so now that we just asked the question, what is the hidden intention? Whether or not the American party poses a threat to the United States, the next question that we are now going to ask is, what is the future of the American party? What is the future of the American party? Now, we have done many things in the past in terms of political parties, and they never came to fruition, just as like the Patriot Party. The difference between that and this is that this one actually has backing. It actually has the resources it needs to get itself on the ground. It looks like a failed party, but something else comes of it. It looks like a failed party, but something else comes. It gives rise to something. And that might be what we've been getting before. There's a rise of something, but it fails. We have the Seven of Wands here. The Seven of Wands reverse means resistance, the path of least resistance. The thing is that Elon Musk and Donald Trump are very inconsistent with one another. First, they're fighting, then they're making up, then they're fighting, then they're making up. It's like a whole ramboozle type of scenario. And that is what the Seven of Wands is. He wants to be able to say, hey, listen, I'm opposing the uniparty system. This is the Seven of Wands reverse. It's saying that it's not really working because you were constantly in cahoots with Donald Trump, and you also at some point supported him and also going against him because it didn't fit your favor or your beliefs or opinions. And it kind of gets to the idea and gets you to the point where, like, okay, we're not going to work. It's not going to work because the messaging is so mixed, it's so confusing, and people just don't know if you're coming or going. Now, the next card that comes in afterwards, we have the Page of Wands. This is the card that represents new leadership, new position. This is reversed. This means this is not a leadership. This is not somebody who's leading. This is not a new opportunity. This is not a time to be leading, right? Even though there's a strong appetite in the United States for a new party, this is not the party that the American people will have an appetite for. We have the Lovers card. The Lovers card is reversed. It's high polarization. People are not in unity with the world, with the collective in the United States. They are loyal to the party in what they represent. So the question is how difficult is it for this political party, for any political party to rise? It's going to somehow it's going to have to convince the Democrats and the Republicans to abandon their loyalty to the party that has been around for almost more than 100 years for both of them, right? Abandon that internal belief, abandon that genetic belief, and to operate under a new political party, a new political system. That is very difficult for a lot of Americans to do. And so the Lovers card comes in as reversed to say that here, we're in a period of high polarization. We're in a period of high polarization. People are unlikely to abandon their loyalty for their own political party. They're so polarized that people feel like, okay, if I go and vote for this, then this could go in instead. I could be supporting this instead, even though I didn't vote for it. That's the idea, that's the mindset, that's the concept. They're going to have to fight it. If the American party wants to get a proper footing, it's going to have to fight and convince people to abandon their own party loyalty. That's the question, and yet we're going to have to wait and see, are they successful at that? I don't believe it will be, but it could very much be. We do have here as well, here are the voters, right? We have here, like I said, at the point the card comes in, this card comes in at the first card, and we had the Two of Cups reversed, which means that the voters do not agree with this decision. They don't agree with it. They don't align with it. They are not likely to vote for that. You might get significant support, but not enough so that it gives you the win outright. We do also have here the Magician card, which means the finagling, like the media, the technocrats, the ability to control certain things to try to influence certain outcomes. This feels very much like this is like a testing group for something that's bigger that's coming. And this is why the Ace of Pentacles comes in, is that this gives way for the original intention. It gives way for what's truly coming in the United States. So this is going to be the start of it. This is what lays the groundwork for what's coming, but it's not necessarily in any way going to make any sort of effects yet. Now, we did say in the past, but when based on the three cards, that the first card showed the Two of Cups reversed, which indicated the party did not, the American people do not choose that party. Right, doesn't choose it. Then we have the Magician card, which was in the middle, but it was upright. This time it's reversed, which tells us this is the beforehand story before we get to the point where it starts to come and take stage and start to really do some real damage in the United States. The Magician card was upright in the middle. And that was important because it indicated to all of us that there needs to be some sort of finagling, needs to be some sort of convincing, right? Which would make sense because if you just lose and the people deny you, they will reject you, you're going to have to try to convince people, right? We have here, we're talking about the story that led up to how the American Party is going to struggle. Then it gets to this point where it loses, and then the action plan goes into effect. And we talk about how they want power, they want control, they want aggression. Right? You cannot become aggressive if you never lost something. You cannot become thirsty for power if you didn't lose it before, or you lost the opportunity for it. That is what they're saying. They're saying this is leading to how the American Party is going to start gaining steam, right? It's going to do it in this very specific fashion. And here you have is the Ace of Pentacles, which tells me here this is that card that was at the end in the three card spread, that was indicating how it's going to move forward. Which was the Two of Swords reversed, which meant with certainty that the American Party does indeed pose a threat to the United States, because it's going to give rise to what it had originally been founded on, which was aggression and power and control. Authoritarian fascist state, if you will. Alright. Now we got all this. We got all this information. Now I want to ask the cards the final question. Now, if you have not already watched my video from a long time ago, from March, I think March 21st, I did this video. It was called about the man on the moon, an independent bid towards the White House. And I will show you what that video is, just so you know what I'm talking about. I actually posted this on the community page today. Well, I didn't yesterday, last night, but it doesn't matter, it's all today. So let me just take a look. Moon. Because I only have one video on the moon. Okay, let's see. This is the one. This is the video I'm talking about. You see here the part one, the man on the moon towards the White House, an independent bid. And here you have it recorded March 21st, 2025. So if you want to go ahead and watch that video, I will put that video in the link below and in the description in case you are wondering. I will also include all the other political parties that I covered back in 2020. I'll put those videos in the link in the description below if you want to take a quick preview back at blast in the past, and also other videos as well where I talked about the rise of third parties in the United States. Alright, so let's go ahead, let's begin. Spirit Angels tell me about the man on the moon, an independent bid. The man on the moon walking towards the White House, an independent bid. Was this alluring to in any way to Elon Musk, Elon Musk's party, or even his chosen candidate? Now, a lot of you guys have also made a good point. You said, well, Elon Musk is not eligible to run for the U.S. Presidency because he's not a citizen of the United States. He was never born here. Yes, but the Supreme Court has literally just said that in hindsight, the judicial branch is irrelevant, that the Constitution does not matter anymore. So in a way, does the Constitution have to be abided by? No. Now, also, as well, we must say that Elon Musk has already said multiple times that he plans to endorse and to primary those who vote against his specific agenda, or his specific bill, or his specific opinion, right? Who's to say he's not going to fund a candidate for the presidential election? right? He doesn't have to be physically there. He could be in the background. Now remember, we're talking about this Donald Trump, right? Well before, the results come in, I kept saying there was a young man being inaugurated in the White House. Couldn't understand why. I said it wasn't J.D. Vance, was not Donald Trump, was not Harris. But we knew it wasn't going to be a woman. But we knew it was a young man. It turned out it was Elon. It turned out it was Peter Thiel. There was a whole bunch of people that were actually involved in this. It probably was very hard to pinpoint who specifically it was. But in this specific video, we're trying to understand and decode the second part of the message. The man on the moon walking towards the White House, an independent bid. So Spirit Angel Tommy. Now, I don't remember anything in that video, so this is kind of like a blind interpretation of it. I will do a real revisitation on that soon. So Spirit Angel, tell me about... Oh, Jesus. Okay, remember the Justice card. The Justice card came up right. If that comes up again, then it's important. Alright, so Spirit Angel tell me the man on the moon walking towards the White House, the independent bid. Does this have anything to do in relation to Elon Musk? Does this have anything to do with Elon Musk? Okay. The Justice card did not come in. We have this card here, the Nine of Swords reversed on the bottom. The top of the deck, we have the Sun card. A revelation, something new. A birth has been made. Something has been born. Okay? Spirit Angel tell me, with the man on the moon walking towards the White House, an independent bid, it isn't any relation to Elon Musk. Okay, so here we have the Ten of Swords here. American Betrayal on the bottom. And we have here the Nine of Swords reversed, which is a guy in a military uniform and being consulted by a dog or a service animal to try to help him cope with what has happened. This is reversed, which means this is where we are now. The bottom of the deck is where we're heading. Now, let's take a look and see. So we're asking about the man on the moon, an independent bid to the White House. We have the Nine of Cups reversed. And the Nine of Cups reversed is a very interesting card because the Nine of Cups reversed means looking at from a different perspective, looking at things from a different point of view. Now, if you look at this is a guy who's being taken a photo of, right? And this is a guy who's sitting down behind his achievements. But these are the smaller details. This is what you see. You see the little things that make the bigger picture. It's reversed. The same. Look at the bigger picture, right? Look at the way things are as they are. Don't just try to nitpick certain things. Look at things from a bigger perspective, right? And this is why we have the Knight of Coins, which comes in at the chiropractor, the grand opening. This is the spine, right? This is what it is. See it for what it is, right? You can see the chakras. You can see your root chakra, your sacral, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, and your crown, right? You can see those things. Those are the minor details. But when you take it, though, and you take a step back and you put them all together, you see the bigger picture. It's saying to that you can acknowledge those small details, but also take those small details and make them into the bigger picture. Because the bigger picture is what matters here. We have here the incumbent, the person in power, the presidency, the King of Swords. What is going on here? The King of Swords. Now we're talking about the man on the moon walking towards the White House, the independent bid. We have here the strength. Now this is opposition here. This is opposition in some way, oppression. Being free or standing up against oppression. And here is somebody who wants to control power. This is somebody who's in position of power. Right? This is about control. This is about oppression. But also about the resistance against that oppression. We have the Page of Pentacles, means new opportunity, new perspective, new opportunities. I think I just said that, my bad. We have the Page of Pentacles here. The Page of Pentacles comes up as new sense of purpose, a new vitalization. What is that new purpose? Here is the Five of Swords reversed. I have a feeling this is not in any relation to Donald Trump. This feels like the man on the moon walking through the White House, an independent bid, feels very much like it opposes and act as the resistance against the party in power. That's what it feels like. Now, we don't know what the time frame and when this is occurring, but it does feel like it acts as the opposition from the party that's in power whenever this takes place. So we have the Five of Swords here. The Five of Swords is reversed. It's saying here that there's a purpose, there's a sense of revitalization. Something has been renewed. And here you have is the Eight of Cups. So this is going to come from somebody who walked away from a political party. This is somebody who walked away from a political party or political perspective. Something that that is being renewed. So it feels very much like in the energy here, it feels like this takes place after Donald Trump, not during Donald Trump, but after Donald Trump. Because he's leaving around this point, and this is when it starts to kick off. You're going to start to see it kind of happen toward the end of his presidency, whatever that decides to occur. But the Eight of Cups here does say that we're going to start to see some indicators as we get closer to the time that in which he is no longer president. Underneath that Eight of Cups here, we have unemployment services. Right, so there is going to be some massive unemployment here. It could also be when people have to get multiple jobs. This is employment services. So when he's leaving, people will be having to either need jobs, or that there will be economic crisis, or that they are unemployed in some way. There is going to be people lining up for something. Here you have the King of Cups. This is going to be somebody who's very calm. Like this is somebody who's come in after Donald Trump. This is the King of Cups. This is a calm leader among the midst of chaos. So this is going to be a very calm individual. I have a feeling that someone else is coming in after Donald Trump, whoever this person is, right after the presidency, right after the election, someone else new is coming in. And Donald Trump is not in the picture. We have the 10 coins. And the 10 of coins is looking at the debt, looking at what happened, looking at the national debt. You see Donald Trump in the background enjoying his retirement. So it feels like very much so that Donald Trump in some way gets off on something. Whether it's talking about his presidency here, or maybe somebody else is in control of his presidency and he's just out here golfing, that could be very well what this is talking about as well. But from all standpoints here, if we were to be just realistic, Donald Trump would not relinquish control or power of the presidency. He wants that power because that is what gives him the ability to have control over other lives. He enjoys, like a psychopath, control over other people. And underneath here, right after the 10 of coins reversed, we have the 6 of coins. And the 6 of coins here, or the 6 of pentacles, is justice. Justice being served. Remember how I said, look at the justice card? The justice card in the Tower deck here was all red, which indicates to me the Republican Party. But there will be justice that will be served. The question is, will be served on the collective. Remember, the reason why I told you guys many times before that how you vote in the 2024 election will determine your world, how you perceive the world, how the world treats you, how the world sees you. This is telling me very much so that we're going to start to reap the rewards of how we voted in some way. If you voted the right way, you will reap those rewards. If you voted the wrong way, you will reap a different reward. But in some way, we're receiving a reward of some sort. Whether that's good or bad, that's not up for me to determine, that's up for you to determine. But what something is very determinative is this retrospect. And do also have here as well, we have the Knives of Swords. And the Knives of Swords is a very interesting card. But the Knives of Swords in this particular instance indicates patriotism, but it also indicates the ability to stand up for the American flag, to stand up for the country, to stand up for the resistance. If you notice the hat is always in every movie. I'm not sure in real life, but I know in every movie, this hat always symbolizes a form of resistance, the internal resistance from within. So it does indicate to me that there is a resistance that's formulated, and that the man on the moon walking towards the White House is not someone of, like Elon Musk in any way. This is somebody who's very calm. This is somebody who's looking at things from a very different perspective and seeing things for what they truly are. That's really all I'm getting. That's all I'm getting here. And what's the bottom of the deck? The bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Swords here, the Betrayal, the End, and we have here the Resistance. So just don't stop resistance. This is the 8 of Wands here. Don't stop the resistance. They're going to try to end the resistance, but the resistance is working. It's coming in the reading. It's working. So just don't give up. Don't give in. Don't obey. Just keep resisting if you can. If you have the means and the ability to resist. Alright guys, I think this is pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Until next time, I'll see you soon. I love you and peace out.